Welcome inside Ralph Engelstad Arena for North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry alongside the head coach. I'm your host, Greg Ankers. UND back at home this past weekend, taking on Minnesota Duluth in a couple games that there's no other way to describe it other than just grinding it out and doing everything you can to get W's. What was your ultimate takeaway from the weekend, Coach?
First of all, our goal was to get 2 wins, and we got the 2 wins. We know at this time of year, especially in the NCHC, everything is going to be tight as far as time and space. It's going to be no different than the next few weeks ahead of us. So again, our guys stayed with the game plan and found a way to get it done.
How much was the intensity this past weekend? Just the similarities between your two teams? Was it more of that, or was it more of just the nature of the situation, just knowing how desperate teams are for W's this time?
I think a little bit of both, Greg. Desperation on both sides to get some wins in the column to help the pairwise and standings. The other thing too is two very similar teams playing that compete extremely hard. So a lot of good storylines into the weekend here.
Well, let's get into the first grinded out victory on Friday night inside the Ralph, a packed house both nights. First period on Friday night, Coach, it was back and forth from the start. What were your thoughts on the opening minutes as both teams were generating some chances?
Well, as you can see, starting off in the game, try to keep the puck out of the middle of the rink and turnovers. We gave up a couple turnovers early that gave them momentum, and again, we tried to get our baseline game going here.
Yeah, at the other end of the rink then, Tucker Poolman from behind the net going to find Colton Sanderson on the doorstep. He can't quite finish there. It stays scoreless, and then another major flurry later on generated from your team, and number 14, Austin Pagansky. Heck of an effort here, Coach.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's playing with power and compete, and again, that's what we have to do. This is so tight checking games that we got to make sure we play the right way, and that's the right way.
You talk about setting a tone early. That certainly did it. Midway through the first, there were players on both sides doing little things. Here's one of them on the positive side for Duluth as Neil Pionk breaks up the 2-on-1 opportunity, break it up a 2-on-1 opportunity there for your guys. Late in the first, then Minnesota Duluth on the power play, and they get the opening goal here from the faceoff.
Yeah, you know what? We couldn't get it clear, and then they bring the puck up the half wall. And I think it was Toninato in front of the net, got a stick on it. Took a bounce, unfortunate bounce that got past Cam.
Yeah, Alex Iafallo with the initial shot. It was tipped in front by Toninato for his 11th goal of the year. 1-0 Duluth at the end of one. In the second period then, though, Cam Johnson not wavering one bit from giving up that goal late in the first period, and he really had to stand tall for your team in the opening 4 minutes of the second.
Yeah, he did. He had to make big saves at key times to keep us in the game, and I thought he did a great job of that until we got going.
Yeah, that first opportunity was on a 4-on-4, and the 4-on-4 was so key this weekend because that is what opened up ice for any chances for either team, as we see Willie Corrin take a shot from the point, save made there. Let's jump ahead. 6.5 minutes into the second, your team on a power play, and sustaining zone pressure was so key on the power play for you guys on Friday night.
Yeah, it was. I thought we had a lot of good looks to the net. We moved the puck extremely well. It just didn't get a bounce or a shot past the goaltender, but we had the good looks.
And here comes UND's first goal midway through the period off of a Duluth shot that goes wide. It goes all the way down the ice. Colton Sanderson wins the race for the puck and gets the goal to tie things up at one apiece.
Yeah, it was a key play. Obviously, they missed the net on the outnumbered opportunity, and then Colton comes down the wing and makes no mistake finding a top shelf.
He had a sliver to beat Kaskasuo on that one, and he did so. So we're tied up at one. Then late in the second period, your team looking for the go-ahead goal, and how many times have we seen Kajula on a breakaway finish? But again, here's another little thing by Duluth as Andy Walensky breaks it up, keeping this one a 1-1 game at the end of 2. In the third period then, early on, teams going back and forth, but not really generating a lot of grade A opportunities as we see another 4-on-4 opportunity here. We mentioned how vital that was to opening things up on Friday night.
Yeah, you know what? I thought we did a good job of having outside entry in the offensive zone and trying to shoot for opportunity there.
Duluth would keep pressure at the other end as well, keeping Cam Johnson on his toes as Tucker Poolman combines for the save there. Then under 5 minutes to go, UND back on a power play. Besser going to kick it to Gardner here for the point-blank opportunity. Can't finish. And then at the other end, Cam Johnson was vital in the closing seconds to keep this one a 1-all hockey game.
Yeah, you know what? Sustained pressure on our end of the rink, and I thought our guys did a good job of collapsing 5 men in the house and keeping the pucks to the outside, and Cam made a couple of great saves there.
Absolutely. It stays 1-1. Going into overtime, Duluth would have a power play to start overtime. You managed to kill that off. Then with other 2 minutes to go, the turnover here, and Pagansky going all the way in and drawing the penalty here, Coach?
Yeah, you know what? He's done that a lot as far as, coming down the ice with speed. And again, as you can see, I think Susie took the legs out from underneath for him to take offsetting a scoring chance, which is a penalty shot.
I'm sure you're not going to argue the call there. Absolutely not.
No, it's a scoring chance in a grade A area.
And Pagansky then with his golden opportunity to send 11,800 plus home happy, and he delivers. And everybody in the rink, I think, maybe even Kaskasuo maybe knew that this was coming the way he threw up his hand at the end, but everybody knew that he was going backhand, didn't they, Coach?
Yeah,
you see this in practice.
You know, we did. He does that a lot. The only thing is he deviated from his path. He usually comes in from the other side of the ice, and we thought it was going to be a shot, and he surprised us all.
His 8th goal of the year is indeed the game winner as your team goes on to win 2-1. A huge 3 points in the standings. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. The power play went 0 for 3, but we mentioned you sustained a lot of zone time against Duluth's D. And Cam Johnson, 32 saves on 33 shots. A much-needed win for your group. Here's your guys after the game.
Duluth's a great team coming into our building. And in the back of our minds, we had last weekend there. We wanted to come out strong. And obviously, it was a tight game the whole way. We got a little break at the end there, and Austin Pagansky made a huge move for us. And obviously, we're excited about the win, but got to flip the switch and get ready for tomorrow.
And a lot of 4-on-4 today, so that was kind of a different aspect and way to go about it. But it's nice that we're rolling all 4 lines. We got 4 good lines here in North Dakota, so if we get all 4 lines going, like on routine, it goes well.
We really just got to stay level-headed, stay out of the box, and limit their opportunities because they're a good team and they'll capitalize when you give them chances and time and space. So, I thought we did a good job tonight, limiting their time and space and playing solid defensively. So, I think we just got to follow it up tomorrow and we'll be good.
Coach, it really was not just enough to get the win on Friday night. It was important how you got it with the 3 points because St. Cloud State also won on Friday night. You can't undervalue how important that is.
No, exactly right. Obviously, winning in overtime, you get the full 3 points, and again, it was great that we did that. Obviously, St. Cloud's playing very well right now. Denver's playing well right now, and again, we got to make sure that we keep continuing to play well. We want that number 1 seed.
We talk about how limited time and space was in this series, and it was certainly evident on Friday night. What were you hoping to get off your offense going a little bit more on Saturday night?
Well, we wanted to. I thought we did a pretty good job of limiting their time in our end of the rink. They're a team that likes to play in the offensive zone, and we did a good job defensively, meaning that we got to play in their end of the rink a little bit. I thought Friday night we sustained a little bit of pressure. Saturday night, not as much, but again, that's what happens when you play with a lot of energy and passion through the first part of the series.
UND gets the opening night win 2-1. Coming up next on the other side of this break, Coach and I will go over Saturday night's highlights as UND goes for an all-important sweep. That's next.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Following a 2-1 win on Friday night, North Dakota goes for the sweep against Minnesota Duluth on Saturday night. Coach, let's go right into the highlights. And remarkably, for the second straight game coming off of Friday night, the vaunted CBS line was held without a point. That would not be the case on Saturday night. And your team got an offensive jump, I think, from this line early on. What did you think, Coach?
Yeah, I thought we got off to a good start here. You could see Nick Schmaltz go around a defender there and get an opportunity on net, and I thought we had a little pop early on in the game here. Yeah,
Rhett Gardner then going to feed another one of those guys on the top line, regularly featured Drake Kajula for the grade A chance out in front. That one does not get by Kaskasuo, though, as we say, scoreless. At the other end, Cam Johnson picking up right where he left off on Friday night, stymieing Duluth's chances early on.
Yeah, a turnover in our end of the rink, and Cam was there to make sure he got the save on it.
Toninato misses from the point-blank shot there. Then the Bulldogs come in 3-on-2 here. Jared Thomas' shot gets stopped by Johnson, and then the rebound in loose, also snatched up by Cam. So this one scoreless after the first period. As we go into the second period, then your team getting some chances at the net. Were they grade A opportunities, did you feel like, in the second period, Coach?
Yeah, you know what, I did. I thought we had some good chances in tight, and again, they did a good job of defending, but again, I thought we had some pretty good looks to the net and just didn't capitalize on them.
Stetcher, no stranger, taking it in deep into the offensive zone, trying to feed Gardner there. Then Stetcher, what a remarkable piece of work that he does here on the defenseman.
Yeah, it's have a special play there, dragging between your feet and getting it to the net. And again, there's our tenaciousness around their net.
Absolutely. Minnesota Duluth would score then later in the first period as we get one last look here at an offensive opportunity. Wilkie getting the second chance there off of Paul Ledoux's shot that gets stopped by Kaskasuo. Then we see the ultimate advantage here by Duluth as they come charging into the zone. And this one was kind of set up a little bit similarly to a couple goals we saw on Friday, where it was off of a shot on the offensive end and it comes all the way down, and the team able to capitalize.
Yeah, that's what usually happens is if it's a one-on-one situation, you just try to get on the goalie's pads and get a rebound so the other player can come in for a shot just like that.
It took a tip on a power play and a Kaldakowski skate to get on the board for Duluth on the weekend. A little later on then, Brock Besser in the faceoff dot. He's a winger by trade, but he did so many important things for you, specifically on this series from the faceoff dot. He won 3 in a row against Toninato.
Yeah, that's the first one there. He pushed ahead on him and got an opportunity. Then the other one, he pulled behind and we got a shot from our D-man. And then this was the third one. Gets it back to Paul Ledoux and did a great job at net front. But 3 face-off wins in a row led to the goal.
Unbelievable. Third time the charm, as Besser wins the face-off back to Paul Ledoux. Paul Ledoux getting the all-important equalizer here, and this goal was late in the second, an important time to get that game-tying goal.
It was huge because obviously, we were getting chances, but we weren't capitalizing, and this was a huge goal to get before the second period ran out.
All tied at 1 going into the third, and again we shift our focus back to number 33, Cam Johnson, who was phenomenal once again for you on Saturday night.
Yeah, he made key saves. I think he stopped all but 2 shots on 61 shots this weekend.
Yeah, and coming up with big saves on a guy named Parker McKay. He was doing everything he could to try to give Duluth the advantage. And then on a 2-on-1 opportunity here, Kyle Osterberg fires it on, but Johnson there again with the stop. And another theme in this series all weekend long was the physical play that took place.
Yeah, checks were being finished all over the ice. And again, usually on Saturday when the energy levels are down, it kind of dissipates a little bit. Not so much. It's heated rivalry, and it kept going. Absolutely.
There was a lot of chippiness beyond the whistles that led to a lot of those 4-on-4 opportunities we talked about a little bit earlier. And then later in the third period, Brock Besser just doing what Brock Besser does. He's not going to miss from that shot.
No, you know what? Pretty good plays entering the zone, coming in the zone, and then obviously Brock likes to get to the middle of the ice, makes a great move to get there, and again, made no mistake on capitalizing.
That would be the game winner. Brock Besser, a milestone moment for him, for guys in this building, his 20th goal of the year. He joins the likes of Jonathan Taves, TJ Ossie, Travis Zajac, other guys that have hit that milestone in their first year as your team completes the sweep. The stick salute there going on for the 2-1 victory. Face-offs were a big advantage for UND on this night, winning 37-28. Here are your players following the game with their reaction on the all-important sweep on home ice.
Every time we play these guys, it's a chippy game. It's a close game, and I think it's just the rivalry. It's intense between our coaching staff and our players. We needed a win this weekend, and they were battling hard, and I'm excited about moving forward the way we're playing.
I think it's just a war. I mean, last night they came in pretty hungry because we swept them both games at home in December there, and last night we just kind of found a way. I thought we had a real good start last night, and we kind of lacked that tonight, but tonight we just found a way again, and our good players made some good plays, and it paid off.
I definitely think we took it a step in the right direction after taking a step back last week, so I think we just need to keep pushing forward, sticking the way we play, and hopefully we get 2 wins next week.
Coach, tight games are won by players making key plays and key moments. Brock Besser did it again on Saturday night, doing it in the face-off dot. He's reached 20 goals. We mentioned how important that is. How is he rounding out his game as this first year goes along?
Well, you know what? He's making a huge impact as a freshman. And again, coming in, we knew that he had a successful year in the USHL the year before, putting up some numbers. So we had an idea that he'd have success. And, obviously he's made a big part of our success this year going forward.
Faceoffs were a key for you on Saturday night. You did win that battle 37-28, but a couple guys, Nick Schmaltz, Johnny Simonson, a couple regulars did struggle a little bit. How are you able to maintain momentum in the face-off dot?
Well, I think just like we did, we threw Brock out there on the 4-on-4, and he won some draws. If it isn't going right for a couple guys, we'll throw some other guys in the lineup or in the face-off dot and see if they can do it. Rhett Gardner, Luke Johnson, I thought did a tremendous job in the D zone, winning draws back late in games.
A key adjustment that you can make in game between each periods. You'll take a look at that and make the adjustments as you need to. Offensively, it's been a little bit of a struggle for your team lately. Any concerns there?
No, you know what? That's this time of year. Yeah, obviously we want to try to continue to work on getting better offensively and getting chances. But again, we realize the time of the year. Everything is tight, structure's better. We got to make sure that we capitalize when we do get chances.
Cam Johnson certainly delivered for UND between the pipes once again this weekend against the Duluth Bulldogs. When we come back, we'll zero in on his dominance against Duluth.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Cam Johnson made 137 saves on 139 shots against Duluth this season as UND wins the regular season battle against the Bulldogs 4-0. Here's Cam and his teammates now reflecting not just on this weekend, but on the season as a whole against Duluth.
Possession time before he pulled up. Walensky, now Susi, fires Johnson with the glove, save,
He's been excellent as a whole this year, and he came up big. Many a times this weekend on a lot of big chances, and we need that going through the stretch here. And I'm excited about his play, and we need him to keep going.
He was awesome. Nothing changed from any other weekend, but this weekend he was really good. He made big saves in overtime last night, a few big in the third, and kept us in it.
Overall against Duluth, he's been great this year, and he definitely stepped up. Especially after last weekend, and I don't know, he's been there for us all year, so it's big to have a guy like him back there.
A lot of games we're out shooting opponents, so it's actually kind of nice when I'm getting a few more shots than they are. So, we knew that coming in. We know that they shoot from everywhere, and they try and get some greasy goals. So, we just battled and cleared out bodies, and those guys made my job easy. So it's a good win for us.
Andy Walensky now with a little room. He'll carry ahead. He puts a shot on. Wow, good save there by Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson is currently second in the NCAA in goals against average and second in save percentage as well. Don't go anywhere. When Coach and I return, we preview this weekend series at Omaha. That's next on North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
With 4 games left to go in the regular season, every point in the standings is key, especially since UND and St. Cloud State remain tied at the top. Coach, you're on the road at Omaha this weekend. But I have to mention St. Cloud State because from outsiders' perspective, that's where everybody's looking at. It's almost like you're playing 2 teams each weekend. How do you keep your team focused on just the one that's actually playing against you on the ice?
Well, that's the key, is controlling our own destiny. We can't control what St. Cloud's doing or Denver's doing. They're playing very well at this time of year, as we are too. And again, we got to make sure that we continue to play with consistency and structure, because that's the only thing we can control is our play.
Your previous meeting against Omaha came mid-January in this building. You lost the opener 4-3, bounced back to win 5-1 on Saturday night. Offensively, they're a very gifted team. Are there things you're taking away from Saturday's game against them in this building than what you won 5-1? Or do you have to do something different, you feel?
Yeah, you know what? They play hard. They pressure the puck all over the ice. They have the Genza line, which did damage against us on Friday, and I thought we did a better job of playing better defensively, play away from the puck on Saturday. So again, we're going to have to make sure that we know when the Genza line is on the ice, as well as the rest of their team, and play well defensively, and we'll get our chances.
And Omaha will have a different look this weekend as well, as Evan Wenninger will be back in net. He was missing the last series due to injury. Well, good luck this weekend, Coach. We'll review the games against Omaha next week here on the show. And don't go anywhere. We're back with some final news and notes right after this.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
UND will be without the services of defenseman Troy Stetcher for Friday's game at Omaha. Stetcher has been suspended by the NCHC for one game following this hit as time expired Saturday night. Stetcher is eligible to return to action for the series finale this Saturday. After another brilliant pair of performances against Duluth, Cam Johnson has been awarded his 6th NCHC Goaltender of the Week honor this season. Johnson stopped 59 of 61 shots over the weekend. He's currently second overall in NCAA goals against average and save percentage. 2 wins for UND and St. Cloud State means the two clubs are still tied atop the NCHC standings with 4 games to go to decide the winner of the Penrose Cup. Despite the pair of victories this past week, UND drops from number 3 to number 4 in the pairwise rankings. St. Cloud State is still holding steady at number 2 behind Quinnipiac. Boston College jumped North Dakota to take over the number 3 spot heading into this weekend. And the top 6 spots in the USCHO.com poll remain the same this week, with North Dakota holding down the number 4 spot. This week's opponent, Omaha, sits at number 13. And we will have the series finale between UND and the Mavs this Saturday on Midco Sports Network. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock. We hope to see you then. Thanks for watching North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry.